Have you ever thought about what would happen if the government declared a state of emergency and shut the entire country down? Imagine waking up one morning to find out that everything you took for granted is suddenly unavailable. Like, everything just goes dark, man. No lights, no internet, no way to communicate with the outside world. It's like being thrown back into the dark ages. No more Netflix, no more Uber Eats, no more nothing. You walk into a grocery store and the shelves are completely empty. No bread, no milk, not even a can of beans. Or think about this. A natural disaster hits your city, throws everything into chaos. Roads are blocked, services are down, and you're left to fend for yourself. How prepared are you to get yourself, your family, your loved ones through something like that? Do you have enough food, water, and medical supplies to last you for weeks, maybe even months? Look, I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but it's always better to be prepared, right? Having a plan and the right supplies can make all the difference in a crisis. That's why in this video, I'm going to lay out 7 essential preparedness items you need to get your hands on before they potentially become illegal. These items could be the key to your survival. These aren't your average, everyday survival kit items. We're talking about specialized gear that can help you navigate through the toughest situations. We're talking about some seriously important stuff that every household should have. But due to all these regulations changing faster than a chameleon in a bag of Skittles, they might not be legal for long. Crazy, right? It's like the rules are changing overnight. I mean, some of this stuff is already banned in parts of Canada, and we all know what happens in Canada eventually makes its way down here. It's only a matter of time before these regulations hit us too. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss out on crucial updates that could help you stay ahead of the curve. It's free, and it'll keep you up to date on the latest news and tips about our food supply and all the things that are going to affect your life in a major way. Staying informed is the first step to being prepared. All right, first up, we're talking about solar power. It's one of the most reliable and sustainable sources of energy you can have when you're living off the grid. And I'm not just talking about those little solar phone chargers, although those are good to have too. They can keep your essential devices running in a pinch. I'm talking about solar generators and solar panels, the real deal. These systems can power your entire home, from your lights to your refrigerator, and even your entertainment systems. Think about it, man. When the grid goes down, what do you have? You're left in the dark, literally and figuratively. No lights, no fridge, no way to charge your devices. Your food spoils, and you're cut off from the world. It's like being thrown back into the Stone Age, and nobody wants to live like a caveman. It's frustrating and inconvenient. But with solar, you're generating your own power. You're independent, man. You have control over your energy needs. You're not relying on some power company to keep your lights on. You're not at the mercy of their outages or rate hikes. You're self-sufficient, and that's a powerful thing. It's a sense of freedom and security that you can't put a price on. Now, I know what you're thinking, Joe. Solar panels are expensive, and yeah, they can be a bit of an investment up front. But think of it as an investment in your future, in your freedom. Over time, you'll save money on energy bills, and the system will pay for itself. Plus, there are tons of affordable options out there now, and the technology is only getting better and cheaper. You can find a system that fits your budget and needs. And let's not forget about the environmental benefits. Solar power reduces your carbon footprint and helps combat climate change. Solar power is clean, it's renewable, it's the future, folks. It's a step towards a more sustainable and eco-friendly lifestyle. So do yourself a favor, get yourself a solar generator, get some solar panels, and kiss those blackout blues goodbye. You'll be prepared for anything, and you'll be doing your part for the planet. Imagine the peace of mind you'll have, knowing that no matter what happens, you've got your own power source. It's a game changer, and it's within your reach. All right, so you've got your solar power sorted, but what about cooking? You can't live on granola bars and canned beans forever, although I do love a good can of beans, let me tell you. That's where biomass devices come in. We're talking about wood-burning stoves, rocket stoves, anything that can burn wood or other biomass to cook your food. Now, I know what you're thinking. Joe, I live in an apartment. I can't just start a fire in my living room. And yeah, I hear you. But there are plenty of safe and efficient biomass stoves designed specifically for indoor use. These things are lifesavers when the power's out and you need to cook a hot meal. Plus, there's just something primal and satisfying about cooking over an open flame. It's like tapping into your inner caveman, but in a good way. It's about being resourceful, being independent, and let's be honest, it's pretty damn cool. Let's face it, In a real emergency situation, your cell phone is only going to be useful for about as long as the battery lasts. And good luck finding a charger when the power grid is down. That's why you need a ham radio. A ham radio is your lifeline to the outside world when all other forms of communication fail. You can use it to connect with other ham radio operators, get updates on the situation, and even call for help if you need it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Joe, ham radio sounds complicated. And yeah, it does have a bit of a learning curve. But trust me, it's not rocket surgery. There are tons of resources available online and in your community to help you get your ham radio license and learn how to use one of these things. Plus, it's a really fun and rewarding hobby. You can connect with people all over the world, learn about different cultures, and even make some new friends. But most importantly, a ham radio can be a lifesaver in an emergency situation. So don't wait, get yourself a ham radio, get your license, and be prepared to communicate when it matters most. Imagine being in the middle of a natural disaster, like a hurricane or an earthquake. The power is out, cell towers are down, and you have no way to contact your loved ones or emergency services. This is where a ham radio becomes invaluable. With just a bit of practice and the right equipment, you can reach out to other operators who might be miles away, but can relay your message to the right people. Many communities even have local ham radio clubs where you can meet experienced operators who are more than willing to share their knowledge. These clubs often hold training sessions and practice drills, so you can get hands-on experience before you ever need to use your radio in a real emergency. And it's not just about emergencies. Ham radio can also be a great way to stay connected with family and friends, especially if you live in a remote area. It's a reliable form of communication that doesn't depend on modern infrastructure, making it perfect for off-grid living. There are also numerous events and contests that you can participate in, which can be a lot of fun. These events often involve making as many contacts as possible within a certain time frame, and they can be a great way to test your skills and equipment. So, whether you're preparing for the worst or just looking for a new hobby, a ham radio is an excellent investment. It offers peace of mind, a sense of community, and a way to stay connected when it matters most. Don't wait for an emergency to realize its value. Start learning and get equipped today. Chapter 4. Survival Seeds, Growing Your Own Food Supply. Look, we all know the grocery store shelves can empty out pretty quickly when people start to panic. And in a long-term emergency situation, relying on others for your food supply is a recipe for disaster. That's why you need to learn how to grow your own food, and that starts with having a good supply of survival seeds. And I'm not talking about the kind of seeds you pick up at the supermarket. I'm talking about heirloom seeds, non-GMO seeds, seeds that have been passed down through generations and are specifically bred for their hardiness and resilience. These are the seeds that will keep you fed when the going gets tough. Now, I know what you're thinking. Joe, I don't have a green thumb. And that's okay. Growing your own food takes practice. But it's something anyone can learn to do. There are tons of resources available online and in your community to help you get started. Plus, it's incredibly rewarding to watch your food grow from seed to table. All right, let's talk about self-defense. Look, I'm not saying you need to turn into John Wick overnight, but in a chaotic situation, you need to be prepared to protect yourself and your loved ones. And that's where pepper spray comes in. Pepper spray is a non-lethal self-defense tool that can quickly incapacitate an attacker, giving you time to escape to safety. It's easy to use, it's legal in most places, and it can be a real lifesaver in a dangerous situation. Now, I know what you're thinking, Joe. I'm a lover, not a fighter, and I hear you, man. But sometimes you have to be prepared to fight for what you love. And having a little bit of pepper spray on hand can give you the confidence and the ability to do just that. All right, let's talk about staying warm. You know those little silver blankets they give out at marathons? The ones that look like they're made out of tinfoil? Those are called space blankets, and they can be a lifesaver in a cold weather emergency. These things are lightweight, compact, and incredibly effective at reflecting your body heat back to you, keeping you warm even in freezing temperatures. You can use them to wrap yourself up, line a shelter, or even signal for help. Now, I know what you're thinking. Joe, I live in California. It never gets that cold here, and that's fair. But even in warmer climates, temperatures can drop unexpectedly at night, especially if you're caught outside or if the power goes out. All right, let's talk about money. In a normal everyday situation, most of us rely on credit cards, debit cards, and online payment systems. But what happens when the grid goes down? What happens when the banks are closed and the ATMs are out of service? That's right, you're stuck. That's why it's crucial to have a good supply of cash on hand at all times. I'm talking about small bills, the kind you can actually use to buy things in an emergency. Now, I know what you're thinking. Joe, I don't like carrying around a lot of cash, and I get it. But trust me, in a grid down situation, cash is king. It's the only currency that will matter. So there you have it, folks. 7 essential preparedness items that could potentially become illegal in the near future. Look, I'm not trying to scare you, but I am trying to make you think. We live in a crazy world, and it's always better to be prepared for the unexpected. Get yourself a solar generator, a ham radio, some survival seeds, and the rest of the items on this list. You'll be glad you did. And remember, knowledge is power. The more you know about preparedness, the better equipped you'll be to handle whatever life throws your way. Stay safe out there, folks. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos like this one. We've got a lot more to talk about. Take care.